Hi, everyone. This is Brittnee Bond, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, I have one of my most famous and favorite people in the world. His name is Joshua.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. It's a delight to be here.
So if you guys don't remember, Josh was on my podcast last year.
I think it was like a year ago.
Yeah, wow. Has it been? No, I don't think it.
Has
No, because I broke up 1 year ago.
Oh, okay, so it was like probably
My breakup
like
anniversary is coming up.
9 months ago or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and I think it's titled "Am I in Love Again?" Bum bum bum.
Bum bum bum.
So today, we are both reporting live here from Berlin. Synchronistically, we are in the same city.
Unplanned.
We actually really didn't plan this, but we love
Not
each
at
other
all.
so
Yeah.
much. So I'm so grateful that you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna host a play party together today. The next Vanilla is happening. And you slept over last night and you were like, I was like, let's make a podcast, because this is what happens with all my close friends. Sometimes we forget to make a podcast and then they like leave and I'm like, oh, I wanted to make one with you. It would have been so fun. So it's happening.
Yeah, doing it a bit before, because sometimes you make them like last minute with people.
Yeah, I don't want to rush it. I think
Yeah.
it'd be nice to do it. And also to capture this vibration of who we are right now in this moment together. So as I always do, we're going to talk about sex, love, and relationships, all the juicy stuff. I mean, if you don't know,
So juicy.
if you didn't know already, Josh is on his way to become a very famous folk musician, rapper, all the things. Yesterday, I was in a sauna here at the gym, and this guy's like, I have to tell them this story. Okay, so this guy was like, my friend likes your podcast. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like a random person talking to me in the sauna. And then I come to find out that like his friend sent him the podcast like 6 months ago. And then he's like, oh, and by the way, I know your friend. And I was like, who? And he was just like, the rapper from Ohio. I was like, who are you talking about? And he meant Josh.
Close enough. Kansas City, Ohio. Same region.
Yes, all the things. So I also find it really funny that like while we're sitting down, it looks like I'm actually taller than Josh because he's very tall.
Yeah. The very long legs.
Yeah.
Shorter torso. It's all about efficiency, you know. Long legs, short torso.
So
It's evolution.
So Josh, when we met last year, it was literally, I think, a week after my ex-boyfriend and I broke up. No, we met while him and I were still dating, actually, at Ecstatic Dance.
We met the first time, yeah. It was like
at Ecstatic Dance.
when we met, it was like a week before, I feel like.
Or maybe a week before. So you entered my
before.
timeline when things were exploding in my
yeah.
life. Like, and it was almost, that means it was almost a year ago that we met.
Yeah.
Because right now, last year, I was coming back from Japan and I found out all the things that happened while I was away.
Yeah.
So, but you were entering my life was like a ray of sunshine when I was in the eye of the storm. Like I felt so grounded around you and safe. And you're one of the few people that can like really hold me in my emotions to the point where I feel like when I'm trying to hide something even from myself, he will call me out in a beautiful, loving way, but just like ask deeper questions to really help me to understand myself and understand what I want. And you've done this since the beginning of our relationship. And I'm really grateful for you and for that part of it. I'm grateful for so many things in our dynamic, but this is one of the main things that really I needed in that moment. And I think it's everyone receives love or feels love in different ways. And for me, when someone can understand me emotionally and hold space for that and like hold space for my evolution, you know, my ever growing expansion, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's like more than someone, you know, buying me a brand new car or taking me on a fancy trip. You know what I mean? Like it's like a gift. And for me, it's more precious than a lot of other things. So
wow. Thank you. I feel very seen and appreciated. Love you too.
Yeah. So we met, we dated for a little bit. Catch up on the other podcast if you want to hear more details about that. That was fun and juicy in its own way. And then we decided, you know what? We are like soul family. Let's be friends. Yeah. And you were going on your way on your travels, and I didn't know the next time I was going to see you when you left the island last fall. And you also told me very openly that there was a connection here in Germany that you you met a girl in Mexico like a couple years back, and she's German, and she was going to be here, and you were going to come stay with her and explore some sort of romance. And I was like, I support you. Go do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we first like met and were dating, my heart was still so not open. Like I wasn't really even able to entertain.
I definitely understand that.
Anything else.
I'm in now.
Yeah. So, cause I think you're the first person I made love with after my breakup. And, I think I've even talked about this to you now. Like, I wonder what it would be like if we made love now, because I'm actually more open. But the funny thing and the ironic thing of the universe is that Josh came here to Germany, had a beautiful love story, and then they just recently broke up. Yes. So he's now, as I enter his timeline again in his life, he's now going through a very massive heartbreak. And I'm the one who's like, hi, everything's okay. I'm here for you. But also share all your feelings with me.
You're all sunshine now.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm all open, happy. And
I'm just sitting with my guitar writing breakup songs. And Brittnee's like, let's go play.
Yeah, let's go dancing.
Let's go have fun. And I'm just like,
So I feel like the universe brings us together in like the most perfect moments for us, because I really do believe that heartbreaks are one of the biggest opportunities for self-expansion. If you're really able to like look at yourself and like look at your shit, you know, and like, and also keep your heart open through the heartbreak. I think so many times, at least for me, I can remember it was so overwhelming for me, everything that was happening around my heartbreak, not just us breaking up, but like the betrayal and the putting it all over social media and like just so many things, that I think I went into what we call a freeze response, and I just like shoved everything down. And usually when you go into a freeze response, there's some sort of trauma that happens there, because literally it's you're freezing your emotions that need to go through, right? So it gets like stuck. And even now, just like 1 year later, I can feel some of that frozenness like thawing out and like really being able to process. And part of that is because I have a safe space in you and like so many other close friends here in Berlin and also around the world, who are holding space for, it's just our growth. Like, I think heartbreak is also, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can let it go through, it can like be one of the biggest ways that you can get to know yourself and like step in your full power and heal whatever needs to be healed.
I think the heartbreak is so interesting because it's in those moments of heartbreak, it's like you say, you really see yourself. And in those moments, it's the absolute hardest to take responsibility, like as a creator, and understand that we created everything that's happening because of the emotions are just so huge.
Yeah, like, and it's so easy to like blame the other person. And I know so many times in past dynamics, not with this boyfriend, but the one before, I was so heartbroken. Like, Andy, I thought he was like going to be the father of my children. He's the first man that I ever thought this could be the father of my children. Wow. And we like made our communities. Yeah. And we made our community space together. We were raised in the same religion. Like, we had so much in common and so much connection on like so many levels, not just the human level, but like I think he's probably the first like hybrid kid I've ever dated. Like, I definitely view myself as like half human, half alien. And I feel like he's one of the first that was like consciously the same. And so we also bonded in a lot of spiritual things. So for me, when I lost him, I felt like I was losing like my family. And
yeah, I definitely resonate with a lot of that with my breakup. I feel like I hadn't really dated someone before for any extended period of time where I really felt like, oh, like I could raise a family with this person. Like, I know it was before I even went to Copenhagen, but I was very much in this space of like, I don't even know if I want kids, these kind of things. And then dating this person, I was like, yeah, I definitely do. I just hadn't been in like the right relationship, the right scenario before. And also just feeling so accepted and not needing to hide who I was at all. And
you felt seen fully in the relationship.
I felt really seen in so many ways and connected, especially on the soul level, in a way that I hadn't felt before in my past relationships.
You're telling me all about this interdimensional sex y'all were having.
Yeah. It was really amazing.
But what I wanted to say, just to finish my thought, and then I want to interview you about your heartbreak, is after that relationship with Andy, I was so heartbroken that like at the time, I'll just be really real, I couldn't hold that much pain. And so I just kind of immediately fell into a relationship with someone else. And I kept telling him like from the beginning, like, I'm processing my heartbreak. I this and that. And we just kept dating longer and longer. And then he wanted a full on relationship. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm still processing my heartbreak, like even through that whole relationship. Wow. So I felt like I wasn't able to be fully present. The reason why I'm saying this is that I'm really proud of you that you are really consciously allowing yourself to go through it and making art about it and like meeting with her. And like you guys have been doing a lot of conscious decoupling in whatever way that means. Like I want to ask you about all of this. So maybe you can just like, for people who are breaking up with someone, I think it's interesting for them to hear the way that you guys were attempting to do this conscious uncoupling. Because I think it's like, we're still human, right?
Yeah.
So there's the version that we would like when we're in our higher selves. And then there's the human version, and we need to blend them together. So can you tell us all a little bit about how did you guys go through it once you broke up?
Well, first of all, I wanted to say, I really understand that, like, getting into another relationship after, because it's like you want to contain this overflow. It's like you're getting more energy and more emotions than you can hold, and you want like somewhere to, it's like everything's gushing out and overflowing, and you want something to help you hold that.
That guy that I ended up dating after Andy, I still am close with him to this day. Like I had his cat after he like left and went to a Buddhist monastery forever to meditate.
You sent him to a monastery?
No, he went.
I know. I mean, your relationship sent him to a monastery.
I don't know, maybe. But he, I still am close to him, but I remember feeling like he's like, a lot of my friends were like, why are you with this guy? But for me, it was because I felt safe with him, and I just really needed someone that I felt safe and that was grounded. And it was like a super simple relationship where I didn't need to put that much work, which is a terrible thing to say about a relationship. Like you should be super excited to like connect with someone and go deep.
You didn't need more energy. You needed a place to put your
process.
Energy.
I needed a place to process.
Yeah, exactly. Makes sense.
But I have a feeling that he probably feels very differently about that and like wishes that I was, there and fully present, because I feel like that's what every relationship deserves.
But he knew that going in.
I told him, but he
made a choice.
He made a choice, but then he fell in love with me, and then he literally was like, I want to date you monogamously. And I said, I respectfully decline your offer. Yeah. That's what I told him. Which is a weird way to answer that question.
Those are the actual words
literally
you use?
When I said
I respectfully
because I was just
offer.
like, I could feel it coming. I was like, oh no, he's going to ask me this. Oh, no. And then one day we like took mushrooms on a full moon or something. And we were just hanging out at home, and he was like,
and mushrooms in this intimate space out under a full moon. He was like spilling his heart to you, and you were like, I respectfully decline your offer.
Pretty much. And I felt like an asshole.
You turned into a lawyer in that moment.
When I get overwhelmed, like I literally go in my lawyer mode.
Wow,
I can't tell you how many boyfriends have been like, why are you talking to me so like articulately accurate but cold? And I'm like, I don't know.
I do that too sometimes.
My default.
Honestly.
Is it a default?
Yeah, it's like, it's
my
debate.
I was going to say, you did debate in high
school. Yeah, it's my years of debate of just like,
which is so emotionally disconnected. And I know that it's like really hard to receive from people.
Yeah.
I think Faraday was one of the first guys that I actually allowed myself to like yell at. Like he used to get upset because I would do that cold and like very critical voice. And then he's like, if you're upset right now, just be upset. And I'm like, fine, I'm really angry at you. But like he had to push me really far to actually express those emotions.
Yeah, I met Paulina. Paulina pushed me to that too.
Yeah.
Like a place where I'd never been, because I'm also in a place often where even if I'm in that like kind of like the lawyer mode, the debate mode, I feel like I'm like feeling my emotions and like parsing them through that, but there's a filter and of like expression and that like words are only so much part of it, and it's hard for us to like believe. Sometimes it's just like you don't believe the other person if the expression isn't there. And
because it feels like they're hiding something.
Yeah, it feels like they're hiding something, even if I'm being like completely honest and I'm like receiving a blunt force of anger, and then I'm like filtering it and like parsing it into something that's maybe not so
Okay, let's talk about your conscious uncoupling.
Okay.
What does that mean? If someone has never heard of conscious uncoupling, they're like, what the heck are you guys
talking about? Conscious uncoupling, from my understanding and from how I approached it with Paulina, is choosing to decouple. So like having a conversation and understanding that you both want not only to have physical distance and like not be in a relationship, but you also want to consciously cut the energetic ties that you have with each other in a way where maybe you can consciously alchemize that, change your relationship basically into whatever you want. Basically, most relationships you break up and then it's just like, whatever, we'll feel how things are going to be. And in conscious uncoupling, you would consciously change the relationship into what you want. And also like I'll hold space for each other to grieve. And
so you like help each other process the breakup together.
You help each other process the breakup and like guide where you want it to go.
So it can normally, what are the options people like?
They break up, they don't talk.
No, I mean like in conscious uncoupling, it's like they usually like you can process it and then you probably like shift it to friendship if you can, right?
Yeah, usually people want to because the person was usually your best friend.
Yeah, it's like, why do I have to, there's someone that was like my everything. And then I do not understand how, in current society, how you can go from you are my everything, you have every password to everything in my computer. And we, like, for me, it was like we ran businesses together. We traveled together. We lived together too. I'm going to block you on everything and like never talk to you again.
Yeah, it's very cold and black and white.
Yeah, like, because in tribal times, you would never do that because you would have to see the person the next day. Like, you can't be like, I can't, I'm going to block you. So
blocking is really not.
I know. I just unblocked Verdi yesterday.
Yeah.
So thank you. And I just for everyone's thing, there was 2 reasons why I blocked him. One was because every single time I put an Insta story up, he would be the first person to see it. And it was just triggering for me to see that. And then 2, it was like I couldn't hold myself back from checking on him because I loved him still, even after he broke my heart.
I mean, I have Paulina unfollowed, and I know that will change someday, but.
So I think, those boundaries sometimes are good, but if you can do it in a conscious way, because like we were saying, like what are the options? What were you saying? What are the options if people don't do it? Like what normally happens?
If you don't do it, then you're just basically, I think people
a little closer. Yeah.
I think people unconsciously, they break up and then they revert to whatever story or whatever, just whatever like story or programming that's their society or their culture gave them about breaking up. So I think for a lot of people, that's like, we broke up, we can't talk anymore. This, that. And I think also there's a lot of confusion because when you just default and you don't talk about it, then you don't know like what culture, what place they're coming from. Like maybe some people in their culture are just how they usually from like just your first love experiences. It's just like,
so it's not even a culture thing. It's just like kind of what you're used to.
I mean, that's kind of like, I guess, guided by your culture a bit, but just like what your first love experience is like, oh, okay, breaking up, we have to not talk at all. Oh, okay, breaking up, we're like still friends and we can still do these things, but your boundaries and what feels good for you might be completely different for 2 different people.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting for us, especially because we date across like literal cultures. Like, you know, like most of my partners are not, English is not even their first language, let alone they're from America, you know?
My ex-girlfriend was German.
Yeah. So what actually did happen?
So the thing about conscious decoupling... The thing about conscious decoupling that I've realized is, 1, you both have to want to not be in a relationship.
So if one person is saying...
If one person wants the relationship, like if I broke up with my ex-girlfriend and she still wanted the relationship, conscious uncoupling is not going to work because it's constantly going to be an attempt for the other person to get the relationship back. So there has to be an understanding.
Oh, yeah, so let's break this down for people. So basically, like, if she wanted to break up with you and she was like, let's go to this conscious uncoupling thing, and you're like, yeah, but I don't actually want to break up with you, so I'm just going to like kind of tag along to all these conversations.
Yeah, and you're just going to be clinging to her and trying to spend more time with her. It's so funny. You just constantly push it.
I really think you need to speak up.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
Okay. But
you're just going to be constantly trying to get back together, even if you're not doing it in your mind, and in your mind you're thinking differently. If you aren't like somewhat aligned in your desire to not be in a relationship with this person, you're just going to find any excuse you can to slip back in. Yeah,
so there could be a lot of like what we call like subconscious like shadow sides coming up and like taking the lead, where you could say, yeah, let's go along with the conscious uncoupling, but then you're kind of like using the time together to like try and convince the person to get back with you, or try and sleep with them, or
even not consciously you're doing it. I mean,
yeah. Okay, so what ended up happening with you guys?
Well, the other thing I wanted to say about conscious uncoupling is that no matter what you do, I personally think that maybe for some relationships where you aren't so attached, but I think for most relationships where you actually underwent the codependent phase and where you like merged with each other, there's just no getting around the fact that you need to have space, that there's going to have to be a point where you actually like choose to take space and like maybe not talk to each other, not relate to each, like if you're talking to each other every day, I think personally, I don't think that it honors the human side, and it's really possible for the human side of us to really uncouple without, just like choosing to be like choosing to take the space and then trust that, you know, whatever happens will happen, and that like if the friendship is meant to be, it will be. It has to basically be from a point of, I don't need to be friends with that person. I don't need this relationship anymore, but I want it. And if it comes out of like a need, a desire, then it's just the relationship trying to reformulate itself.
Wait, okay. I want to break this down for everyone because you said a lot of really good stuff. So basically, so if I understand this correctly, you're saying if you do what you're supposed to do in relationships, which is like open your heart fully and like merge with the other person from an energetic standpoint, when you break up, you need to be able to, because they say like when you get with someone and you're in that mode, your neurons in your brain start rewiring and you actually have like shared memory.
Wow.
So they've done studies where like the wife will remember where the keys are and the husband remembers this other thing. And like they always are asking each other because they literally like, it's like a biological thing to like share resources, even in your brain.
Okay.
And so when you break up, like you need to be able to have like some time, even if it's a short amount of time, it doesn't matter how long it is. It's just like you need to have some physical time for your brain and your body to come back to, and like, it's kind of like, and I don't want to say an addiction, but like
it is an addiction.
Yeah, like an
your
addiction.
Body is addicted.
It needs to go through the withdrawals and like be able to rely on yourself all the way without being in emotional connection with this other person or physical or sexual or whatever.
That's exactly how it was for me. It's like an honoring of the fact that I'm addicted to this person, and that even if in my mind that I know that it's not in my best interest for us to be in a relationship anymore, my body is on a completely different wavelength and my body is addicted.
And that's one thing that you and I talk about a lot just in general is I myself try and do things where I can convince myself from a mind perspective. This makes sense. I should feel this way. This is that. And then Josh is always like, yeah, but how do you really feel? And like, how does your body actually process that information? And I'm like, ooh, okay, yeah, I really like this person, or yeah, I really want to do that. You know, like I can like convince myself. And in a breakup, it's the same way. Like you can try and convince yourself, I'm fine around this person, but maybe you're not fine.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it also because your mind is very aligned with your higher self.
Me personally? Yeah.
So you're able to connect with that a lot, but then, the body has a mind of its own.
And the body, like we chose to be humans and have this human experience for a reason. I spent most of my life denying what my body actually needs, you know, like being like really in my higher self where I'm like, this is what I should do. This is how I'm going to help people. And then my body would get sick because it needed to rest or it would,
I'm
you
the
know,
same way,
like I'm on the mission. And then my body's like, no, you need to sleep for 3 days.
My mind
now.
and my soul are like best friends. And they're like looking at the body over there. They're like, dude,
why
can you
are you
hurry
not
up? Like,
working?
what is
faster?
Get with the mission. Like, hello.
Yeah. So I think this is also the same with matters of the heart, because even for me recently, you've called me out in a nice way, in a beautiful way, about how like I was falling in love with Torga for a little bit, you know. I want to talk about this. The next podcast I'm going to make is all about solo polyamory. So we're going to talk about that. But basically, I'm in a solo polyamory dynamic with multiple people. And one of them I stayed with when I first got to Berlin, Torga, for like 2.5 weeks. And he took care of me. He did all these things and was just so sweet. We love Torga. Shout out to Torga.
We love Torga. Torgissimo.
Yes. And after I moved out, I was like doing this thing where I was talking to you about it and I was like feeling weird about the thing. And then you were like, well, what is it actually? And I was like, it felt so vulnerable to share my feelings about how I felt about him. And I think it's still related to my breakup like 1 year ago. I think I'm still healing from this heart contraction that I went through. And you were like, it's okay. You can fall in love with him and it doesn't have to mean attachment or that you need to date him. You can just, but like allow the feelings through. This is what you kept saying to me. And I'm so grateful for that, because I feel like even for me, I have spent some of my life like being emotionally avoidant in relationships just because I can say all the things, programming, like the way I was raised, all the stuff, but it is what it is. And mentally, this is what we're bringing it full circle to what we were just talking about, was like mentally I have worked through a lot of my trauma from childhood and from past relationships, but in my body it still has a response. And I love that you help me to like honor that body's response, and I'm sharing this with all of you, that like you can understand it from an intellectual perspective, why you need to break up this person, why it's not working anymore, but then your body is like, I miss them, I love them.
That's been so much of the process for me. I made a vlog on like my YouTube channel about it, where I was making videos of me like from like day 1, day 2 of the breakup, but it's like honoring my...
Put it in the camera.
It's honoring my body. You're just moving my hands like a puppet. I love it. Honoring my body in that, yes, I know that I don't want this relationship to continue. And the truth of the matter is also that I still love her, and my body desires her and like craves her every single day. And I want to be near her, and I want to talk to her, and I want to make love to her. And all those things are true. Like both of those things are true. I don't want the relationship, and and I want her and I love her, and that will likely continue. I know that my body will, like any addiction, it will go through withdrawal, and it'll be okay. My soul connection's probably always going to be there, and that's
beautiful.
okay. Yeah, it's honestly really amazing because she's incredible. But,
yeah, I think that's amazing. And I wanted to bring up the last point you were saying was basically like you feel like you can be friends with her once you don't need to be friends with her anymore. Like it's healthy when you've had the withdrawal long enough where you're like neutral about whether you are friends with her or not. How long do you think that will take?
My connection with her is very strong, but also because of that, it's quite like unprecedented, and I have not experienced anything before.
You got no reference points?
Yeah, the reference. I mean, people say like, oh, half the time you were in a relationship, but like, I don't know.
So like if it's a year-long relationship, then it'd be 6 months.
Yeah, it'd be 6 months.
In that neutral zone.
Yeah, but I have no idea. Hopefully 6 months would be nice.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to be in that space in 6 months, but we'll see.
I think the first dance that you and I did where we actually connected, which was like a week after Faraday and I broke up last year. That same dance, Andy, the ex that I had before, was at the dance. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Yes. No, I remember that vividly.
And I remember we were talking about it because I was like, wow, like if I had saw Andy like right after the breakup or even a year after, I still would be so triggered. But now it's been like 3 years since we broke up.
How long did you date for?
We dated for 1 year, but we lived together before that as friends for 6 months in a villa. But our soul connection will be for life, you know? So I still felt that soul connection when I saw him, like the week after Faraday and I broke up. But it made me feel so good because I was like, oh, maybe one day I'll feel this way about Faraday. Like, because with Andy, it was like, I even thought like, maybe I should just go up and say hi. You know, I didn't feel any negative feelings. I didn't feel any like pain in my heart. I was just like, oh, this is someone that I used to be really close to, and I would love to just see how they're doing. Yeah. With Faraday, I don't know. There's a lot more in the emotional field to process with him. But I think unblocking him a year after he cheated on me is a good. It's a
huge step.
It's a huge step.
Yeah. I know from my ex-girlfriend also, before I dated Paulina, we dated for 3 years, and that process it's like going very beautifully, and we're like friends and we speak pretty frequently.
Talk a lot,
and I mean there's still feelings of longing and things like this, but there's not this need like this. Yeah, it's very abundant. Yeah, like us seeing each other feels like abundant and like beautiful, but there's not like this gravitational pull that feels like this magnetism.
Yeah, like that polarity of like tension.
It just feels like abundant and loving.
Oh, I love that. And that I would love to have that with all of my exes where it's healthy, you know?
I mean, you chose them for a reason. Like you chose them because you
and it's
love
interesting
them so much.
Because like especially in today's culture, if someone like cheats on someone, like there is a cultural reaction to that like that person is a bad person and like we never talk to them again. And I definitely felt into that a lot when Faraday and I broke up, but also because he was doing a lot more bullshit afterwards. But it's
the Faraday thing is it's a bit different because there's a lot
so much.
There's a lot of
and I don't feel like he's really taken responsibility for a lot of it.
Yeah, I think there's like another level of like there's a heartbreak and then there's trust.
Yeah.
And that's like if you don't trust someone, then that's like a bit of a separate thing.
So for me, like I'm open to the day where I can trust him again and be in some sort of connection, even if it's just like, hey, I'm wishing you the best.
Yeah, maybe
like
just sharing a community with him.
Yeah, I think that would be nice. Putting that into the universe. Everyone put your manifesting powers that this is possible. Because
I'm fairly passionate about this because I just feel like everyone in the world, you chose the person you were in a relationship with. Like you are best friends with them. You were at some point best friends with them. And there's just no chance that you don't, that just shriveled and died, kind of like you were talking before. And I really think like a world where we can recognize that and like honor the grief and the heartbreak. Like there's no reason why you wouldn't want to go back to being at least friends with them.
Yeah, for me, it's like about building my tribe. Like, this is someone that I was willing to date and like share my life with. And
you chose them as tribe.
I want them part of my soul family. I think like with Faraday and Andy, those are the things that because both of them are like people I consider like hybrid people, like, half human, half alien. I think Faraday's a little bit more alien than human, but it's all good. He's doing his best. So I think that like for me, this is like part of my like soul family. And, I've had like different spiritual readings that like, there's nothing that can like break those kind of connections. Like if they're healthy, they will always stay and like evolve into whatever they need to. So yeah, I hold space. Like for me, like if I think about everyone, if you consider the person that you broke up with to be part of your soul family, first off, if you don't consider them part of your soul family when you're dating them, like why are you dating them? That's an interesting question. But if you consider them as part of your soul family, like wouldn't it be so much nicer to be able to say, hey, this is not working out, but let's have a conversation about how we can transfer this into something more healthy.
And I agree with you 100%. And I also think that there's this feeling of like, if you meet someone and you know that they're soul family, but you don't necessarily know if the relationship will work out, there's like this trepidation or this feeling like you shouldn't even try because that could mess everything up.
Okay, so can we talk about this story? Wait, say that first, and then I have a example story.
But just, I wish, like, the world that I manifest and the world that I am creating is one where we can acknowledge that people are soul family, and we can also explore romantically, so there's no, like, lack, there's no regret. You can explore, and you can also understand that even though it's really painful, and that there will be withdrawal, and maybe there will be time that you need to honor your body, that in the long run that
you're going to come back together.
Yeah, you're going to come back together. It's only going to make you stronger because you explored everything there is to explore. And yeah, I think if we could like have a conscious agreement before we started dating, like you are my soul family, we're going to explore this romantically about having a life together, but at the end of the day, you are my soul family. Yeah. And like we kept looking at the relationship like that. Like if people looked at relationships out of the abundance of like, we're always going to be connected. Yeah. In whatever way this flows, like it could go into even
romance.
In disconnection, we're connected.
And even if we need to take a break from each other and integrate, like we're always going to, like if you call me, like I'm always there for you, you know?
I mean, if you truly trusted, basically if people really trusted soul connections and realized that they weren't like scarce, like they weren't, if I don't see them for a certain amount of time, I'm going to lose that person.
I just think people don't have the concept of tribe anymore. Yeah. So when they don't even understand like, I can just choose this person as like someone I love in my life for the rest of my life. Like I have you, I have Torga, Robin, like I have so many beautiful men in my life that like at some point we have been romantic, but at the end of the day, we know that like we're always going to be there for each other. Yeah. And we're all in like one big friend group with like the rest of our friends.
And I think that's a scary thing that actually keeps people in relationships or kind of holds people back when their relationship would be better off if they were friends, if they were soul family. Like I know with Paulina, my ex-girlfriend, we both had this clear recognition that we wanted to be in each other's lives for like our whole lives. Yeah. Like
so she's going to be around.
Yes, of course.
She's got time to get to know her.
Yeah, of course.
Good.
Like she's my soul family. She's my tribe. But then the fear that I'm going to lose that person forever because there will be so much hurt, if we break up and that we can't work through it or something like that. And the fear of just losing them as a person in your life. And just, if this fear wasn't there, I think people would be able to make much more loving and also self-loving decisions about the relationships.
Yeah, because they would be like, maybe this is not working for us. I need to speak up. It's not working for me romantically in our connection, but like I already know you're part of my soul family. Yeah. So like, let's figure out how we can
also incompatibility as romantic partners is not the same as incompatibility as soul family.
Yeah, you can be soul family with someone and not want to share your bed with them.
Yes, exactly. I think that's, I really think there's a big conflation to that.
But I'm just telling you, I think people don't understand the idea of chosen family, soul family, tribe. Like even for us, like I've had times in the past where I broke up with someone and like all of our friends get together and support, knowing that we're soul family. Like when Andy and I broke up, our whole community was trying to help us through it.
Wow. That's
and
so
we just we kept telling them like, we don't want you to pick sides. Like there was no one cheated on anyone. We just needed to like separate,
Yeah.
And I think that that's really beautiful when like as a tribe, like everyone's processing it together. Because I think that's also what keeps it soul family overall, because if you and I broke up and I go tell my friends over here and you go tell your friends over there and there's no connection between everyone, then I just feel like that's an opportunity missed for like a deeper connection, like as a community.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like compassion in that. And also just, I see in the picking of sides that like so often somebody will like, they have their friends and their group of friends will be like, in this person's, bad person or a villain because they broke up, and then you just sow more discontent and less connection, when in reality, like the sides are so funny, because if someone's really amazing friends, like soul family with someone you're soul family with, the chances that they're also your tribe are much higher. But then in the disconnection with relationships, it's like, oh yes, I can't be their friend because they're this person's ex and stuff. And it's like, very likely you would be friends and there would be beautiful connections there.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up this story of like a mutual friend of ours, where I feel, I know for sure that we are soul family for life, me and this beautiful man. And Josh has met him. He's been here in Berlin with us. And like, he won't explore something with me romantically, even though I know that we both have admitted there is attraction there. And I think, and I know he's told me like, I'm afraid of messing this up. I'm afraid of us doing something and then it hurting our connection. But I think you were also saying you thought he was afraid of just catching feelings or something.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But I think this is also because that friend, I would say, is less.
I think when I say he's afraid of catching feelings, I think he's afraid of catching feelings because he doesn't know a way to catch feelings and disconnect and still be friends with you. Like if he catches feelings, then he feels like his cultural experience of breaking up after he catches feelings, he won't be able to be the same level of closeness. Like he doesn't have a frame of a model for that.
That's what I'm trying to like bring into people's vortex. So like with this friend, he thinks if he starts falling in love with me, that will mean we either need to date or we need to separate more, like disconnect more.
Yeah.
And what I'm presenting to him, I've already
new model.
New model. Let's go. New earth. Come on. Is that we can be soul family and we can also make love. And if we love each other, then we talk about whether we want to be in some sort of partnership together. And I've already told him, I was like, I don't think we're life partners, like in that way, but like, I love you as my soul family. I think you're hot. I would love to make love with you. And yeah. And if we do catch feelings, we talk about it, with the knowingness that we're always going to be connected like this. Yeah, he's like on the island right now, like sending me messages that he loves me and he misses me. And it's like, he can say all those things. I think that's just what he can give. And this is something that Josh and I talk about a lot, is that the way that we view the world and the way that we operate in the world is so new, even for our close crew of friends. Like some of them are just completely on board, like Alexandra that I made a podcast with before. But like, a lot of our other friends are still what we call like kind of in the matrix, like a little normal, but they still love us. And like, and sometimes that feels frustrating for me because I'm like already here, like, let's go, you know? And I also honor that like not everyone's going to want to operate in the same way as that we do. But I do feel that the soul tribe that we have attracted in, most of them are like this naturally.
Yeah.
Or they want to be, they just don't have.
I think
like
there's oftentimes like there's programming around it, but they are aware that this is how they are.
Yeah, because that one friend I was just talking about, he does want to operate like that. Like he just doesn't know. I think he doesn't have a positive experience in his body to like pull on. You know?
I think it's very much an embodied thing.
Yeah. So I don't think you told me like how did it go with her with the conscious uncoupling?
Oh yes. So we broke up twice. So the first time we broke up, there's actually if you go on my YouTube channel, Grounded on Clouds, there's a 30-minute video us talking about us breaking up the first time. But we broke up, and I was in Morocco, and this was like a distance breakup, but we were going to meet up again to like have our kind of closing conversation. So she came on Valentine's Day. She flew into Morocco.
Not romantic at all.
Yeah, not romantic at all. We met in the ocean surrounded by waves on this like rock. It was not romantic at all. Trust me. And we like said our words and what we had to say. And just going to be real. It didn't work because we didn't actually want to break up. The reason why we broke up that first time was because we had just gotten to a place of like so much hurt, and the communication was in such a bad place, and also because of the distance at the time, because she was in Berlin and I was in Morocco, and that we just couldn't communicate in like a healthy way. So we kind of broke up, and then we came back together, and we just didn't actually want to, but there was still a lot of hurt. So we spent like some months being together, spending time together. We were in Morocco and in Tenerife and the Canary Islands, like working through the hurt. We did like a lot of grassroots ceremonies that we created, like some magic to like let go of the hurt and the pain, and
so you were
to regrow our trust. Yeah, we were trying to basically get our trust back so that we could be in a relationship. So we were kind of in this limbo state. And then we came back here to Berlin, and we met up here, and we decided to try to be like in a relationship again. And over time, we realized that there was just incompatibility in like what we wanted, and a lot of that, it was like really no one's fault. It's just incompatibility in what we were prioritizing in our life. And for me, there was a lot of like me prioritizing the career, not being willing to put in the amount of energy and work required to make the relationship work when there was a relationship where there's like a lot of tension, a lot of triggers, a lot of dissonance work, because it's a really beautiful relationship, but it also, we really triggered each other. Like, in a way that was really frequent and not a lot of space to process those things.
I think you and I were talking about this because I remember this with Faraday at the end. It was like every single week there was something, and it like took the whole week.
More like
to
every
process.
single day or
really?
every other day. Yeah.
For us, it was like every week, but that thing like took the whole week to process, and then like a new thing would happen.
So basically, it was like taking up so much time and energy, which is not a bad thing, because I think it's just kind of like a choice. Like
yeah, I mean, you can grow the most in relationships.
Yeah, it's like an incredible way to grow. I mean, you're just constantly being shown your triggers if you have the space, the commitment to like growing through that. And I think like if looking at it honestly, like if I had the ability to like go to the jungle or go to the forest in nature, and we could just like be with each other and deal with our triggers, and that was like my main focus in life, that we would grow very it would be very beautiful. But
I got shit to do. I gotta be famous.
I need to share my music with the world, and I have a lot of things that are very important to me that take up a lot of my energy, and I want to invest my energy in that. And so decided to break up. And
but tell us how you really feel about it.
Tell me how. Okay.
You were like in your debate voice there for a minute.
Was I in debate voice?
Yeah, you're like, this is what happened logically, and then therefore we had to do this. Tell me how you really feel.
I mean, I feel everything about it. I feel angry that it didn't work because I love her so much, and I felt so connected to her, and still feel so connected to her and loved by her. And I also feel really sad and heartbroken because I never had a feeling of so much safety and like a person that I could lovingly create such like a future with, that just filled me with so much hope. And it felt so good in so many ways. And yeah, it's also, I feel angry because she's my best friend, and I have to create all these boundaries around talking to my best friend when we both want to. It's like when two people want to do something and you can't, and that.
Yeah, you were saying like something happened on you left the water on or something the other day, and then
yeah.
she had to help come translate when the plumber came.
Yeah, she had to help come translate when people were coming to
work
to
on
look
the
at
house.
yeah to work on it. And also, I feel like overwhelmed and tired at times just from the sheer amount of grief and sadness that's like in our disconnection, that it makes me lose my mind to the point where I leave the faucet on.
You left the faucet on and walked outside of his apartment,
because I just
and it was leaking down to the one below.
Losing my mind, absolutely. But yeah,
happens.
Yeah, I think I feel absolutely everything. I also feel fear that I get the fear that Robin feels, the like fear that we won't be in each other's life anymore. And there's this feeling, there's this like voice in your head that like, if we just never tried.
Just trying not to use Robin's name.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's fine. Now everyone knows.
Outed.
Keep going.
I think you said okay.
I don't know
think
if he's even gonna listen to this. It's fine.
But yeah, this feeling like, if I just never tried, and then she would still be my best friend, and it would be okay. And also there's the part of me that knows the deeper truth, where it's like I couldn't not try, because I love her so much, and I had to. And yeah, I also feel joy, so much joy in just have experienced this love.
Aww.
Like,
I remember
I'm
that.
so blessed to have experienced such an intense love, like the dimensions that we crossed together and the spaces that we entered into and the love that we shared. Like, wow. I look back and I'm like, I am so incredible, and also incredibly dramatic, just like, storybook stuff that just you wouldn't believe.
Faraday was like, we love being dramatic, but he also
she is so dramatic, and she loves it.
I think, okay, let me clarify. He'd always say, you are being so dramatic, and I'm like,
I also loved it.
Yeah.
But I say the same thing to her all the time. Like, you're just so dramatic. And then she's just like,
keeps going.
Yeah, it's true. But I think she really looks at life like, if I was making a movie, what would be the next scene?
All the time. My life is a movie.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, but like, what if we just I don't know. I mean, I get what if this was a movie that didn't necessarily like break the box offices all the time? Like what if this part of the movie was? Can we have peace? What if this part of the movie was a bit boring, and then I don't know. Does it have to? Yeah.
I was trying to say that, but I forgot. But like, I remember this very specific song that I would listen to right after Ferdy and I broke up. I just heard it again recently this week. I feel like a lot of stuff with my breakups coming up this week, so it's pertinent that we're making this podcast. But I remember listening to that song on repeat right after Ferdy and I broke up, and feeling the saddest I have ever felt in my life, and also the most grateful for being alive. Because it was just kind of this like beautiful sorrow of like,
wow.
I feel everything and it sucks, and also I feel everything and I'm so happy I'm alive.
Yeah, that's
I'm really alive right now in this moment.
So the places that I've broken down have been quite funny. But I remember I was in the gym and listening. Also, I'm releasing some music now that I like recorded.
I'll put everything in the show notes.
Recorded a while ago that was about my breakup with my ex-girlfriend before. Paulina, and then it's like so pertinent now, and I was just in the gym in like the yoga studio with no one there, dancing, or no, some people were there, I just didn't care, and I was dancing to this song that I wrote, and just like I just like broke down crying, wailing in the gym. It was
babe.
Yeah, it was a powerful experience, but just the music can really drag it out of us. And I also, something that I realized is that heartbreak is so powerful. There's so much energy because when we're with someone, we like, I think the nature of codependence, and when you're with someone, it's like you feel their love so much and you feel your love for them in their physical form. And then in heartbreak, in the distance from the person that you love, you feel your love for them everywhere because they're not there.
Yeah, they say grief is love that doesn't know where to go.
Yeah, but it's also like, it's so intense because it's everywhere. Like when we're together, like my love is in the text that I send her and the conversations that we have together. But
it's like
when we're apart, it's like I look at a tree and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
That's what I mean. Paulina. You have all this love like flowing through you, and it doesn't know where to go.
You hear any song on the radio, you're like, oh my God, that's my love. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's not here, and I want it to be there, and everything is about love all of a sudden. Just why is every song a freaking love song? I'm just saying, you don't notice until you break up.
Okay, I'm a lover girl for life. Like, I'm all about love stories. That's why I have a whole podcast about
I mean, yes, I'm the same way, and so it's really just me complaining, but like when you break up, you're just like, oh my.
I remember you even saying this to me, like, Brittnee, you love being dramatic. Just stop it. I'm like, okay.
You can love it. You can admit it and still enjoy it. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for helping me. Thank you for creating a safe space.
Yeah. It's a safe space to be dramatic here.
Okay. So we're already like been going for a while. So I think we should wrap it up. Because we're hosting a play party today. So we gotta do things. Is there anything you want to say, last words? Maybe it'd be a nice reframe here to speak to the universe of what you would love your relationship to transition to with you and Paulina, like highest timeline. And everyone who's listening, I invite you to send all of your positive energy to help manifest this highest timeline. Let's do it together.
The relationship that I want with Paulina is one where the relationship that I will have with Paulina is one where we both honor our soul connection, that we feel connected emotionally and energetically, that we support each other, we hold space for each other. We're creatively entangled because she's an incredible creator, director, and we create together. We create community. Honestly, I want her to be by my side with me, creating the new earth, creating the place where
that is so beautiful. Babe.
Where we live and where our children, whoever the children are by, that they can enjoy and feel just
you
like
want
the
to
love
be part of the tribe.
Yes, she's my tribe, 100%.
I love that, babe. Anyone who's listening that's going through heartbreak is probably crying because that's what we all want.
Yeah.
Like, even if someone hurt you so deeply, like, that's why
it hurts because they're the tribe.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if they, like, even with Faraday and I, when he did something that actually really did hurt my feelings, this is why it's so confusing for my body sometimes, because how can someone that loves you so much do something that hurts you? Yeah. But then also you still want to have them part of the tribe, you know? Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's where, like, it's really beautiful when things can get worked out and worked through, but sometimes it takes time and space and all this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. But, like, I think it's beautiful that you want her to be part of your tribe. Of course, yeah. There's never been a question about that for me. Not a single time. I would also love that with Faraday and I, to be able to have the energy get clean between us. I can tell the way you've spoken about him. He's your tribe. Yeah, he totally. Oh, it's going to make me cry. Yeah. Yeah. And also, like, in my human form, I need to allow, I keep telling myself this, I need to allow all of the time and space and whatever energy that needs to get cleared. I can't be the only one trying to lead on that. Like, it needs to be both of us. Yeah, definitely. Wanting that. Yeah. But I'm also, it's interesting. I feel in a neutral space about whether him and I are friends. I just feel. Okay. Can we also get everybody out there, send energy towards Faraday and Brittnee? Can we clean this energy? Can we wipe it clean for? I don't know. Is it possible? Yeah, I think it's possible. I just don't know how many lifetimes it will take. No, just kidding. It's happening in this timeline, in this lifetime. The last time I talked to him, oh my God, I was super dramatic last time I talked to him. Because I asked him, do you want to meet up before I left the island? Because we have not spoken since the day after he did ayahuasca, like in person. and I was leaving the island, and I was like, I don't know when I'm ever coming back, I'm going to be super dramatic, blah, blah, blah. And I asked him, do you want to meet? Because I've always wanted to have a conscious uncoupling talk with him, or just like a closeout talk. We never had one. And he said no. And then I sent him this song. And then I said, okay, see you in the next lifetime.
You're so dramatic.
And he didn't write back.
Oh, it's okay. I remember the first time Polina and I broke up. It's like, I don't know. We're meant to be together and have our family together. And maybe it doesn't happen this lifetime. It'll happen, and it's happened before, and it'll happen again.
I mean, part of that is true.
No, it's true. I think it's true.
It's totally true.
It's just also super dramatic.
So dramatic.
You reject me, but only in this lifetime. In the next one, I will have your babies.
But I mean, at least for me, like, I don't know, with Paulina, do you think you guys would ever try again romantically? Because with Faraday, I actually know that I would never try again romantically. I just want to be his friend. I just want him to be part of my tribe. Like, I want whatever's healthy for that to happen.
I think the truth is that it's impossible for me to know, because the person that would try again would be a different person, and she would be a different person. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, but like, I think that we are functionally incompatible as the people we are now. And that like change is inevitable and transformation is happening constantly. And God, if I made any predictions like 5 years ago about how I would be now, I would have been so dead wrong and dumb. So, because
Really?
I've just changed so much. And then the 5 years before that, I changed so much. So I don't know. But yeah.
I feel like I haven't changed that much.
Yeah, I mean, you've been pretty aligned for a while.
Okay.
I was
like, I feel like I've been myself.
I was climbing out of but I mean,
I definitely had some trauma I needed to let go of. But
it was
like,
more
I knew
like
who I was.
Me 5 years ago was more like just you, like just getting out of the marriage and the church.
Oh, like, yeah, in my early 20s.
So
yeah.
you probably changed a ton.
Yes,
then.
definitely.
Yeah. So,
oh my God, yes.
But yeah, you've held the alignment has been stable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know where we were going with all of this, but
yeah, well, I want a world where we can explore romance with people, and it's just, I don't know, we can choose to experience the heartbreak and just acknowledge it for what it is when it's experienced, that it's love, that the grief is love, the heartbreak is love. It's just love in a different flavor. It's love in a different form, and it's not at risk of us losing our tribe or losing our soul connections, that it's actually in service of it.
yeah, I think the reason why I am so gung-ho, like so promoting chosen family and tribe, is because my biological family did leave me. But, you know, the biggest heartaches are the biggest gifts that we can give the world. So I went out there and like built my chosen family, my soul tribe. I'm like leading the way.
Communities
and now
all over the world.
Yeah. And now so many people are asking me how to do it themselves. So I'm trying to give you guys tips. Go out and make your soul family. Do it.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope they're as hot and sexy as ours is.
You wish.
Snap. Okay. I need to take a break. There's so many things I want to say. Maybe we make another podcast, but like, I feel like this one we should finish.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been really fun. I'm happy you came on.
Yeah, me too.
I love you so much. We never even told them about our dynamic, which is, maybe we talk about that in the next one.
Yeah.
But it's good and fun and juicy. And I'm sending you guys all lots of love on this beautiful, little bit rainy day in Berlin. And send us your happy vibrations. I guess by the time this is published, the play party will have already just happened. But you know, it's all good stuff. It's all happening. Maybe we'll make one after the play party and talk about how it went. Oh. You had a great time last time.
Yeah.
So did
That's
I.
true.
Yeah.
I think everybody at Vanilla play parties has an amazing time.
That's true.
You especially had an
I had a really great time.
had a really good time.
Multiple times. Okay. I will see you guys in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.